Well, with me now to go through this morning's papers is author and broadcaster Emma Wolf and anthropologist Marianne Hotter, and they join me now. Let me start with you, Emma. This story is very interesting. Just looking at the Telegraph there, we're very much aware of the fact that King Charles was supposed to visit France, but obviously looking at the protest that's taking place on the streets, that had to be cancelled. Obviously, a lot of people saying the French certainly making their views known, something some say the Brits could learn from. What's your view?
Yeah, well, to call President Macron embattled is probably maybe the wrong word, but it's certainly been a tumultuous week for him. He's looking increasingly isolated, actually, the French president. He's facing criticism and even ridicule for his handling of the protests, but specifically his handling of the cancellation of this, landmark first visit from a English king, a British king, so he cancelled the visit. It was going to be a state banquet at Versailles tomorrow, but there was a real concern within the Élysée Palace that he would be the focus for protests, these protests increasingly violent, which have been raging across Paris and other French cities. I think up to 1 million protesters on the streets. But it now looks like a sort of slightly foolish move. Many of Macron's allies even are saying that, that he caved into the revolutionaries, that this is a sort of avowal of powerlessness, and it's a humiliation, really. Of course, now King Charles and Camilla will go to Berlin. They'll be welcomed with open arms there, and that'll be their first state visit. So I think the French, it's a sort of combination of feeling that they wanted that visit, but actually Macron's made the wrong move there, and he is looking increasingly isolated. Bit of a diplomatic disaster for him, but I think it's an impossible decision to make. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, really. If he had made the wrong call and King Charles had been caught up in some terrible protest, that would have been another disaster. But of course now maybe it looks like Macron made the wrong move.
Absolutely, yeah. And do you know what, Emma? Don't tell the people of France what our retirement age is, okay? Just.
Exactly.
Marianne, the next one is interesting. So Google AI then, actually they seem to have opinions, are they? They're left-wing?
Well, it possibly, Vanessa, depends which newspaper you ask. This is a double-page spread being run by the Mail on Sunday, and so they are accusing Google AI, which the Google AI program Bard, Google Bard, was launched last week. They say it has left-wing bias. If you ask ChatGPT for an opinion, often you'll get a response that says something like, I'm not programmed to give opinions, I'm just going to try and give you objective information. Whereas Google Bard is going for it. It says, you want an opinion? Sure, I'll give you an opinion. I'll tell you that I think Brexit was a bad idea. It'll tell you that it thinks that Jeremy Corbyn has some merit as a leader, that there's no one definition to be a woman, and it does sit on the fence if you ask it whether Labour are nicer than the Conservatives. So the Mail on Sunday are saying this is a terrible outrage to democracy, that it's going to mislead people because it's a bunch of left-wing woke programmers who've basically gamed the algorithm and fed it the wrong kind of information. Other people might say it's drawn information from across the internet, it's formed a balanced opinion that reflects many people's thoughts and is delivering unbiased opinion. If you don't like it, you can make up your own opinions. You don't need to ask a chatbot.
Absolutely, there are other sources available. What's even scary is the fact that the machines are taking over. Basically, that's what they're doing. Let's watch out for them. Emma, this next one's interesting, isn't it? Looking at the Sun, the headline here, oh, please, God, spare us. That did make me chuckle a little bit. I mean, Andy, apparently planning a book. Is this a good idea?
Vanessa, we only cover the important stories here. Prince Andrew is planning an explosive tell-all royal autobiography, because we don't have enough of them, in order to fix his reputation. So apparently this is the way to do it, as if Harry fixed his reputation with Spare. So this is going to be a kind of explosive, as I say, tell-all memoir, a kind of along the lines of Spare 2.0. So think Harry, but Prince Andrew. Comes 3 years after his car crash, Jeffrey Epstein Newsnight interview. And apparently this is the way to fix his reputation. He's facing losing one of his bigger homes, the Royal Lodge, and he's also facing financial difficulties. Apparently everybody close to him is saying, don't do it, Andrew, don't do it. And he's saying it's a great idea. And guess what? The publishers are circulating like hawks, like vultures. Obviously it would be a global bestseller. It would sell brilliantly, but it would probably not fix his reputation. As a former publisher, I can tell you the stuff that he would probably put in it would, I don't know, maybe not do himself that much good.
I wonder if these are the same advisors who advised him to do that interview with the BBC with Emily Maitlis a while ago. Maybe he can sit down and balance who said what, and but hey, we'll just watch and see, and we'll report it. So there you go. Keep going. Marianne, this next one's interesting. Maybe bricklaying is the place to go, and I know that plastering is also very lucrative too.
Yeah, I mean, if Andrew's short of a bob or two, he might want to think about reskilling. The Sun are running a campaign called Builder Better Britain. Do you see what they did there? Because basically, if the government want to reach their target of building 300,000 homes a year, we need more skilled labourers. As you say, plasterers, but also bricklayers. Anyone who's, I think, probably tried to commission building work and had conversations about the costs of both labour and materials will attest to this. Bricklayers can earn a lot of money. So if you're a junior, you can apparently, I don't know if this is true, but this is the builder who's quoted in the article in The Sun, that you can earn £1,000 a week. If you're a senior bricklayer, so you've got a bit of experience behind you, maybe you can supervise the juniors, the apprentices, you could be earning £2,500 a week. It's making me think that I want to reskill as well. Yeah. So apprenticeships are obviously the hot ticket at the moment because you can work and earn and learn at the same time. But also the government are planning on relaxing rules for foreign builders to come in and be able to work legally because we have such a shortage of skilled labourers to help with all the building projects that we want to get off the ground. I potentially refer you back to Google Bard's reply about Brexit there. But
I see what you did there. And you also came up with a very good slogan there, actually, Marianne. Work and earn and learn. There you go.
There you go.
You're doing this, girl.
Yeah, the government can have that for free. You're welcome, Rishi Sunak.
There you go. And this final story, Emma, this is actually really heartbreaking to see these kind of stories, and the trolls are at it again, and this time potentially meaning the end of, the appearance of a Strictly judge.
Yeah, and actually it's sort of what's really depressing, Vanessa, is that it's not a surprise at all. This is Shirley Ballas, the head judge on Strictly, talking about whether she's sort of hesitating over whether to join the next series if that happens. She says she's had so much vitriol and abuse on social media that it just, the mental, emotional toll really, really got to her. She said she kept it all in, the privacy, whatever decision she made about eliminating contestants, whether they were older or younger, whatever decision she made, she was subjected to really nasty abuse. Every decision she made was, commented on. Even her appearance was criticised. She was actually offered by the channel. She was offered counselling and support. She said that they were very good, but she said the abuse snowballed out of control and it impacted her in such a negative way. And this is a woman who's been in the media for many, many years and is pretty hardened. But I think it just highlights how this kind of thing, totally unnecessary, totally uncalled for, and really does get to people, and that even top stars are actual individuals with feelings.
Absolutely, it certainly does. And Marianne, we don't have long at all. We've got about 20 seconds, but this next story certainly left a bitter taste in my mouth.
Oh,
what are we on this morning?
So very briefly, 46% of samples of honey from Europe were found to be adulterated with sugar syrup, and that included 10 samples from the UK of honey produced or processed in the UK, imported into
Marianne.
the EU. 100% of them.
Marianne, we've just run out of time. Oh, okay. Marianne Hotter and Emma Wolf, it's been great to have you this morning. Thank you very much. See you after the short break.